Yeah, we're live. And we're live with a bunch of firsts, news, new things. First of all, this is the first live stream that I have created using the combination of iOS 12.2, a newly downloaded version of the YouTube app, and a kind of a different topic approach. I more want your opinion, and you all are coming in, on this. If I said to you, hey Joseph, how you doing? If I said to you that Derek Carr is very close to Tom Brady in terms of performance, you would undoubtedly laugh at me, right? Come on, let's hear it. Hey, Kenny G, the topic for the day is the title. And the title is, can Jon Gruden coach Derek Carr to be Tom Brady for the Oakland Raiders? That's the title. That's the question. Oh, and by the way, Lee Smith was cut. That's the question. Now, I'm asking, before I continue on with that and I allow you to ruminate on that question I just asked you, I have to report the sad news about Lee Smith, who had his best year as a tight end last year. The Oakland Raiders have released tight end Lee Smith, the club announced Thursday. Smith, who signed with the Raiders as an unrestricted free agent in 2015, played in 51 games with 32 starts in 4 seasons with the Silver and Black. He totaled 36 receptions for 248 yards with 4 touchdowns, including a career-best 3 touchdown receptions in 2018. He started a career-high 15 games for Oakland in 2015. Over his 8-year career, including 4 seasons with the Buffalo Bills, Lee Smith appeared in 107 games and made 66 starts, recording 56 receptions for 392 yards and 7 touchdowns. Originally a 5th round, 159th overall selection in the 2011 NFL Draft by the New England Patriots, the native of Powell, Tennessee, totaled 75 career receptions for 791 yards and garnered all-conference USA honors as a senior at Marshall. Geez, it makes it sound like the dude's retiring. And you could have finished it with, we thank Lee Smith for his service to the Silver and Black. But no, it's more like, nothing. You're gone. You're cut. You're done, even though you helped take us to the playoffs. Which gets me back to Tom Brady, okay? Look, get this, folks. Tom Brady, I'm gonna read you these touchdown statistics, okay? This is Derek Carr over his career, all right? 2014, he had 21 touchdowns, then 32 touchdowns. That's right, 32 touchdowns in 2015, then 28 touchdowns in 2016, and that was the, if you remember, that was the playoff year, okay? And then 22 touchdowns in 2017, and then what has been a career low, 19 touchdowns last year. So far, Jon Gruden is not doing the best things for Derek Carr's career, all right? Now, in terms of completion percentage, you would say, hey, Jon is not really helping him, but then get this. Listen to this. Completion percentage. First year, 58.1%. Then 61.1%. His second year, that's 2015. Third year, he improved to 63.8%. That was the playoff year. Then 2017 under Todd, the offensive coordinator, Todd Downing, 62.7%. And then under Jon Gruden, almost 70%, 68.9%. That's a dramatic improvement. So even though his touchdown performance was less than it has been in his career average, he completed a greater percentage of his passes. Yardage, he also threw for more yards. 4,049 yards in his first year under Jon Gruden versus 3,937 yards playoff year, 3,496 yards under Todd Downing, and basically under Bill Musgrave, he has come close to but never went over 4,000 yards. Derek Carr, and in 2014 it was 3,270. Okay, so how does that compare to Tom Brady? Well, I'm glad you asked. This is Tom Brady over the same period of years, 2014 to 2018, right? All right, Brady started out 33 touchdowns in 2014, then 36 touchdowns, then 28 touchdowns in 2016. You would say, why the drop? Suspended! Remember those 4 games he was suspended? We were introduced to Jacoby Brissett. That's why. And then 2017, 32 touchdowns. And in 2018, 29 touchdowns. I mean, this is a far cry from the Tom Brady we knew way, way back in 2007 through 50 touchdowns, right? We haven't seen a performance like that from Brady before or since, but I digress. Completion, okay, the only time, think about this now. Remember I said that Tom Brady threw 28 touchdowns. It was a suspension year, but it happened to be the equal number that Derek Carr threw. Now, in terms of yardage, that year, Tom actually threw for less yards, that's right, less yards than Derek Carr. In fact, let's go through this. In 2014, Brady had 4,109 yards. Let me make it easy for you. Tom Brady has thrown over 4,000 yards every year over this comparison, save for one, and that was the suspension year, okay? That was it. That was it. The rest, 4,109, then almost 5,000 yards, 4,770. Of course, we skipped 2016 because, as we mentioned, that was, the suspension year, right? I'm not saying skip it for not counting it. I'm saying skip because we already discussed it, right? Then 2017, Tom went back to being Tom, and he threw for 4,577 yards. And then last year, his champion year, 4,355 yards. So you could make an argument, and I'm going to make this argument, that under Jon Gruden, even as poorly as the Raiders performed, Gruden still managed to get 4,000 yards out of Derek Carr. I repeat, Jon Gruden still managed to get 4,000 yards out of Derek Carr. So I'm going to say that I think that this year, and this is an article of faith because I don't know how he's going to change the scheme, but I do know that Jon has worked to get a squad that's faster off the ball, more fleet, quicker, better. So I'm going to say, having not seen the playbook changes, that this is the year that Derek Carr becomes closer to the Tom Brady that we had hoped he would be. I'm putting that in, that positive, because if you look at the numbers, he was headed in that direction, and we saw signs that Jon had designed schemes to exploit weaknesses in defenses. The only problem, all right, the only problem over this entire time has been the Raiders' poor adjustments to what the defenses were doing after halftime. I mean, I've talked about it before. The Rams game, the Broncos game. I mean, you can talk about. Remember how we had them, and the Raiders basically just stopped matriculating the ball and controlling it. Maybe they got a little too conservative. Okay. Hey, Will Pender, how you doing? Let's see here. We're taking questions about Derek Carr. So, on that note, John Akala says, I think Derek Carr's completion percentage improved with Gruden. because he threw a lot of dink and dunk passes. I believe his yards per pass was on the lowest in the NFL last year. Let's check that. I think you might be right. Let's see here. Let's check that. We have Derek Carr's numbers here. We have his percentage yards average this year was 7.3. All right. The year before that, under Todd Downing, it was 6.8 yards. In fact, get this. In all the years that that Derek Carr has been an Oakland Raider quarterback, which is his entire career, guess what? Last year, that's right, last year was the one year that he threw for more yards per reception than any other in his history with the Oakland Raiders. That's right, 7.3. So, no, it actually, I mean, if anything, you would say, as you have said, that, oh, Derek Carr threw for the lowest per catch yardage than anyone else, right? And I would say, well, actually, no. His is 7.3. Now, the question is, what was the league average this year? So let's take a look, all right? NFL 2018 passing stats, right? Okay. So we go to NFL statistics from NFL.ESPN.com. Offensive leaders, defensive leaders, those are personnel. I'm looking for the teams. Team stats, passing offense, okay? So there's not an average, yeah, here we go. There is an average. No, they did not calculate the average. They have the Raiders here at 7.3, but they don't have the average here. I would have to actually go through. That's really sloppy. You'd think they'd give you the average here. They don't, right? Yeah. So I can eyeball it. And eyeballing it, I would say, let me list the teams that are below the Raiders. Arizona, 5.8. Buffalo, 6.2. Miami's 7.3. They're equal. All right. Washington is at 6.5. Jacksonville is 6.4. The Jets are 6.5. Cincinnati 6.6, Baltimore 6.7, Detroit is 6.7, Denver 6.7, Houston, excuse me, strike that. Denver 6.7, and that is, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so there's your sprint. In fact, looking at this, there's no. If you want to have some fun with this, the question you would ask would be, who has the greatest yards per catch, right? Well, I'm looking at Kansas City at 8.8. Kansas City went to the playoffs. All right, they are number one. Number two, Tampa Bay, which did not, 8.6. The Rams, which did, 8.3. There's a pattern here. San Francisco, 8, they did not. New Orleans, 8, they did. All right. Houston did. The Texans, 8.2. Okay. So you can make, and Seattle at 8.1, which I believe went to the wild card, if I'm not mistaken. And so there would be, you could make an argument that, yeah, you can make an argument that there's a direct correlation between average yards per catch and playoff game success and the playoffs. In other words, it's not a guarantee, but let's just say that 60% of the time, 66% of the time, which is a statistical sure thing, if you throw for over 8 yards per catch, you're guiding a team that has enough offensive firepower to go into the playoffs. Where they go beyond that is another story. But that's what I'm looking at here. for this year. Now the question is, does that hold up year after year after year? And I'd have to go back and take a look at that. But this year it's holding up. Okay, it's holding up for this year, and I think that's quite fascinating. So get this, all right? Now, having said that, remember what I said initially, all right? Get this. Get this. Think about this, okay? Think about this. You've got, welcome to Zinni62. Think about this. You have Antonio Brown, right? In fact, let's take a look at the Raiders wide receiver roster now that Lee Smith is gone. Because you have now an entire turnover. This is crazy. This is an entirely new Raider team. You realize that? And John says 7.3 yards per pass is not bad at all. With these receivers they got, I think they will improve better. Oh yeah, I mean, I cannot see. Let me put it this way: I cannot see at all. I cannot see Gruden putting together the numbers that we saw last year. In fact, if you take a look at the roster right now, okay, and as I'm about to do right now, team. And so this is Jonathan Abram, safety, okay. Position, safety, okay. We have Marcel Aitman, wide receiver. Saheed Blacknall, Antonio Brown. Derek Carrier is the tight end. Rico Gafford. Ryan Grant. Over that, and Dwayne Harris is back. Keon Hatcher. As we go through, you got a lot of names there you don't know, right? Forrest Murillo is the tight end. 6'4", 253 rookie, by the way. J.J. Nelson's the tight end. Excuse me, wide receiver. Sorry about that. Hunter Renfrow, of course, Clemson. And Darren Walker is tight end from Georgia Tech. Luke Wilson, another tight end. He's from Rice, 7th year. So you've got, I'm looking for, and I don't see, yeah, there he is, Terrell Williams, number 16. All right, Western Oregon. You know, the guy we got out of free agency, right? This is an entirely new wide receiver core, save for Harris. All right? And, I mean, entirely new. So what that spells is, even though you have the same coach, John has brought in an entirely different set of receivers, which means he's going to, if you take a look at Antonio Brown and Williams as the kind of the bellwethers, the markers, right? He is going to do what has to be a more aggressive passing game. My question is, will he install no huddle this time? Because the only way to effectively get the ball to all of these fleet-footed guys is to have more turns. In other words, more plays. The only way you're going to get more plays, no huddle. And so David Schott says, Carr has a chance to pass for 5,000 yards because of the running back's ability to catch passes out of the backfield. Great point. Yards after the catch will be huge this year. Yeah, I agree with you. On paper, it does look like that's where the Raiders are headed. John Acala says Brown and Williams, I think, are going to be the two starting receivers. Yeah, but the tight end situation is in flux. I would like to see myself a type of game plan where sometimes the Raiders come out with 2 tight ends, sometimes 3 tight ends, sometimes 1 tight end, sometimes no tight ends, you know, with 5 wides, various packages, different ways. The challenge in terms of management is to have a no-huddle call system and then these different packages and make sure the receivers and the offense understands them. And that is what bothers me. And the reason why I say like that is because you've got Doug Martin who's coming back. That's a good thing. I think Marshawn Lynch should be given a special invitation to come back myself and tutor Josh Jacobs. But they're bringing Doug Martin back. They're going to bring Josh Jacobs along, apparently. If it were me and I had Josh Jacobs from Alabama, I would just simply say, you know what? This kid's going to be our starter. We've got a special set of plans for him, and we're going to move forward. And then let the rest of the league fear what we're going to do with this guy, all right? That's how I would handle it. And so that's how I would handle it. Joseph Armendariz says, by the way, okay, what? But that's how I would handle it, okay? But Joseph says, what's up with Marshawn Lynch? Is he retiring and coming back? Well, he says he's retiring, but he wants to come back. I will also say that he's getting more involved in Oakland politics, but that's something I'm going to keep under wraps for right now. Arcade says, hey, Arcade, how you doing? Arcade says, Carr was one of the league leaders in fumbles 7 and had 10 interceptions. That's 17 turnovers. And I'm glad you mentioned that because let's see where Tom Brady compares, over that period of time. Tom Brady had 4 fumbles last year. He lost 2. He had 7 fumbles the year before. He lost 3. Think about that. He had 5 fumbles the year before that. He didn't lose any. He had 6 fumbles the year before that. He lost 2. He had 6 fumbles the year before that. That was Carr's inaugural year, 2014. In other words, I'm talking about Tom Brady, but I'm comparing the two. So you have to start with Carr's inaugural year, which is 2014, right? That was 6 fumbles, 3 that he lost. Okay, so you would say, all right, what does Carr look like over that period of time? And I will tell you right now, ugly. Because he had 12 fumbles, but he lost 7. Okay, that was last year. He had 8 fumbles the year before that. He lost 3. He had 5 fumbles the year before that. See the trend, all right? He lost 3. He had 10 fumbles the year before that. He lost 3. He had 10 fumbles his inaugural year. He lost 4. So how do they compare? Basically, he's had 45 fumbles. He lost 20 of them over that stretch as Derek Carr, all right? So basically, if I have to go back and compare, if I look at Tom over that, every time I hear Tom Brady, I want to say Tom versus time, all right? But, okay, he had 4, that's 11, 16, 22, let's see, 16, 22, and 28. So basically, Tom Brady has had 28 fumbles over that period versus 45 for Derek Carr. There's our difference. If we want to make, if Derek Carr has to get to a Tom Brady level, he's got to do what? He's got to hold on to the ball. Now, you would say we haven't protected him well enough, and I would say that we haven't given him the proper schemes to be protected enough. All right? It doesn't matter how much he lost. The simple fact is he fumbled. All right? Because losing the ball happens for a lot of different reasons. Depends, on a per play, there's a case-by-case basis for each play, right? But my point is that Derek Carr, has, minutia aside, right, has lost the football on the average double the amount of times that Tom Brady has. And so Kenny G says they can probably go no huddle since they don't have Blank and Cooper always dropping passes. John Collins says offensive line also has to protect. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. Offensive line also has to protect Carr. I would like to see Derek Carr not hold on to the ball so long either. No, I think they need to have that clock. 1.2. Remember the game against the Niners? That was the worst game plan Jon Gruden has ever put together in his history. It stunk. Oh, it was awful. He had Carr sitting back there in the pocket. The pocket was just collapsing. He's going to throw, a slant, right? The slant is just being eaten up by the Niners. It's not open. He turns around, boom, gets hit. I thought, why are you doing this to this man, Jon? It was awful. I mean, it's like Jon had never heard of quick pass principles from the wide receiver. Wide receiver just goes out to the flat and just give it to him. Let him get some yak. And then now yards after the catch, right? And as you may recall, I went ballistic over a play the Raiders working on during the preseason where, it was a wide receiver screen, right? But they were play action faking to the back. The NFL, the defensive ends and in particular are so fast, you don't have time to execute that fake. Just let the play design take care of itself where the defense thinks you're going to fake it to them and just throw the ball. It took the Raiders the entire season to catch up with that logic. All right? So Joseph Armendariz says, I think he has a tendency to have the whoops. All those injuries have him scared. Do you think it's that, or do you think that really it was a case of just, getting sacked a lot? I want to see if I can get the Raiders offense statistics. Also, I want to see if I can get the Raiders offense statistics in terms of the whole. Okay. Let's see here. Derek Carr. Oakland Raiders. How about this? Oakland Raiders offense stats 2018. Game average. Oakland Raiders stats at NFL.com. Sacks. 13 sacks. The Raiders had on defense. Okay. They were 28th in points. So that's got to change, which is, you would think that Antonio Brown was brought in to help change that statistics, right? Okay. 336.2 yards per game. They were 23rd. Passing yards, 234.4, 18th. And this gets to your comment regarding, you're thinking that the yards per catch were low because of these stats, right? I get it. They really weren't. Basically, what this boils down to is the Raiders didn't have enough turns at the back, which I believe points to the need for a no-huddle system. Because between Jon running the ball, I think, a bit more than he should have, and then not having the properly designed ball control passing system, he didn't create, and not having an effective no-huddle package or no-huddle verbiage that could be used the entire game if he chose, he, Jon Gruden, did not create a situation where the offense could be on track to be a top offense in the NFL from a statistical perspective, all right? Rushing yards, they were 25th. So in each and every one of these, they were all below average, all right? And I think Kenny G just says, what he says, not going to say Carr was scared. That's what the non-believers want you to think, or scare. What you wrote, Kenny, it was hard for me to understand, so could you rewrite it? Because you say, I'm going to say what I'm reading. Not going to say Carr was scared. That's what the non-believer wants you to think. I don't understand what you mean. I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, so you have to believe that, right? But anyway, okay. So we've got, can you explain that? I'm curious. While you are figuring out how to explain that, I am going to purely and simply go to Tom Brady. You say, what did Brady's stats look like? We talked about the fumbles, right? But he was intercepted 11 times last year, 8 the year before, 2 the year before that in 2016, 7 in 2015, and 9 in 2014. Versus Carr. Carr was intercepted, let's see here. There was that. Derek Carr was here. Okay. I just had him here. That's odd. Raiders player roster, official stats. Show full history. Let me do that. Okay, because I had Derek Carr's note right there, right? And all open to be used. There we go. And there we are, right there. Cool. All right. Somehow it got away from me, little bugger. Got it. Okay. All right. He finished last year, by the way, with a 93.9 rating. Did Derek Carr. And interceptions. All right. 12. He started out with 12 interceptions in 2014, 13 in 2015, 6 in 2016, which also, you're seeing a pattern here, was the year the Raiders went to the playoffs, okay? 13 in 2017, and 10 last year. So he was about, for him, average, all right? But the concern here is he had 19 touchdowns. Hey, video gamer girl, how you doing? Talking Jon Gruden. Can Jon Gruden make Derek Carr into Tom Brady? All right. The percentage was lousy. 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. No. What you want is more like what we had for the playoffs. 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's what you want. Okay. That's what you want. All right. So right now, I mean, look, on balance, Gruden has them headed in the right direction in terms of yards and passing average, but it's only a smidgen more than what Bill Musgrave did. What Musgrave did was he lowered the number of interceptions by 4 significantly. Also, that year, get this, he only fumbled 5 times, he only lost 3. So Bill Musgrave is the offensive coordinator champ, even compared to Jon Gruden last year. Even though Jon Gruden has, and I've said this, has Derek Carr on a trajectory to do better this year, all right? The main questions we can ask are these. Will the scheme be such that he, Derek Carr, is not in a position where he fumbles as much as he did? Will he be able to throw more touchdowns? Hey, Sean, how you doing? Okay, those are the questions. All right, so I'm asking everybody. This is my round robin poll. I'm asking everybody to chime in here and present their case. Okay, and my question to you, purely and simply, is: Do you think? All right, do you think Derek Carr will have a better year this year than last year? Simple yes or no. Simple yes or no question. And I'll look for you all to chime in and give your answers, okay? All right. Sean Grogan says yes. All right. Who else? Grogan says yes. Video Gamer Girl says, I don't own a car, so no. Oh, bad. Okay, we have Amandura Sakala. Video Gamer Girl's a scratch. Well, she says no. Grogan says yes. And Bill Wall says Carr is not the franchise. That's not the answer to my question. My question is, look, will he do it or not? Will he have a better year this year than okay, that's all. Kenny G says yes, and I say yes, all right? All right? Okay? Video Gamer Girl, it's up to you. You tell me what the answer is, all right? What is your answer, all right? So far we have, the consensus is, yes, he will be better, all right? That is the consensus. So the consensus is that Derek Carr this year, except Video Gamer Girl, she says no. Derek Carr this year will be a better quarterback and will be closer to the Tom Brady standard that the Oakland Raiders need, all right? Now, here's my other question. Bill Walsh says, I'm sorry, Bill. Bill Walsh says, why do we finish 4-12 last season? Okay, I'll take that. We finished 4-12 last season because our defense sucked. What's the old saying? Offense sells tickets. Defense what? Defense wins championships. All right? Because when it mattered the most, we were unable to stop the run. We were unable to effectively rush the passer. It's defense. The better your defense is, and this gets to the other aspect of why the Raiders didn't have as many plays. The better your defense is, the more turns at the bat you give the offense. Again, the better your defense is, the more turns at the bat you give your offense. In fact, that was the Buccaneers' problem. That's why Bill Arians, Mr. Arians has not Bill, but Bruce Arians has spent so much time building his defense, getting a fast defense, fast linebackers, fast DBs. The Buccaneers defense, if they are all like I think they're going to be with Todd Bowles as the coach and all that fresh talent, and then Vernon Hargreaves basically told to play sick 'em, like I'm covering you, buddy, bump and run. Woo! All right? There's going to be some hustling and hitting on that defense. You watch. Hustling and hitting, okay? Joseph Armendura says, speaking about defense, or Mike Mayock crafted Crosby, that was a surprise. Do you think it's a jewel in the rough pick? Crosby? Do you think it's a jewel in the rough pick? No, I don't think it's a jewel in the rough pick. I'll tell you, I think Mad Max, if you watch his videos, will prove to be the surprise. My only concern is how well he does against strong side runs. If the Raiders leave him on the strong side, they should do so, right? But I think he's going to, this is my prediction, I think he's going to make people think of Howie Long, okay? I think he's going to make people think of Howie Long more so than any other player they've had in their history on the strong side, all right? And Jon Gruden says we lack weapons on offense. 3 and outs had the defense exhausted. True. David says Derek Carr grew up in the heat of Bakersfield. He will thrive in the sweltering heat of Las Vegas. He will do great. You'll see Carr will be winging that ball for 5 years. So, I mean, so what? Okay, what does that have to do with what we're talking about right now? Fine. No one is saying anything against Derek Carr. All right, we're talking about whether or not he'll do better. So don't. Oh, hey, Raider Gans, thank you for this for the investment. Appreciate that. But don't make this into like we're bashing Derek Carr sort of thing. That's ignorant. No one's bashing Derek Carr. We're talking about what Derek Carr has to do to get better. All right. So if you're going to come to this channel, you haven't been here before, write intelligent comments or just sit back and listen. Or leave. I don't care that my numbers are low. As long as I have quality conversation, I'm happy. That's why I have a huge word filter here. I don't want bozos hanging around here saying whatever, writing whatever comes to mind because they had a bad day at the office or whatever. Forget it. You know? So anyway, Bill Walsh says, arcade, ding, 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 ding. The offense is bad. But see, Arcade, the offense, my contention is that the offense was bad because the defense didn't give them enough turns at bat. All right? The more turns you get, remember the Denver game? Remember the Cleveland game? Remember how we were up? And then the defense let them walk back into the game, literally? All right? That didn't piss you off? Come on. Pissed me off. All right? Remember that? Want me to replay that here? No. Okay. So, oh, yeah. John Collins says, I think defense will definitely be better. I'm concerned, okay? I really am. I'm concerned, okay? That, I'm concerned about that. And you think the defense will be better? I hope it is. But I am really concerned, okay? And I'm concerned because it's one thing to have the personnel, but it's the way Paul Guenther coaches that system. And you have to remember, Guenther was not known as being this massive defensive guru, like a la Buddy Ryan, or that's going to come in and immediately put his stamp on the Raiders and march them to the playoffs, okay? What was Paul Guenther known for? What was Paul Guenther known for? Paul Guenther was known for, more than anything else, knowing Jon Gruden. I'm just saying, okay? Paul Guenther was known for, more than anything else, knowing Jon Gruden. I repeat, Paul Guenther was known more than anything else for knowing Jon Gruden. Let's be honest, all right? Let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Brett again says, nowhere to go but up from here. That's true. Well, actually, yeah, you know, we start off 6-10, right? Del Rio, poor man crying, about to cry when he got fired. Sad day. I mean, it was a sad day, and I was one of the ones who thought, hey, we needed a change, okay? But if Jack Del Rio had stopped trying to foist off his defensive errors on his coordinators and played a more coordinated defense with linebackers up rather than back, and forgetting this hybrid, you know, you've got, well, it's kind of like the hunchback of Notre Dame. I got a hunch over here. I've got most of my defenders over here. I got this hole over here, and, you know, all that stuff. Just keep it simple and effective and adjustable. He didn't do that. All right? Hey, Kenny, thank you for the investment. Thank you. Wow, great. Kenny says, the Denver game, we needed that first down. The game would have been over. Yeah, okay, and I hear you. But here's the thing, all right? We needed the first down. The game would have been over. Absolutely. Absolutely, okay? But think about it. If we had a defense that was good enough to stop the Broncos, remember that drive? Remember the drive? We didn't stop them. We let them pick up first downs. Remember that? Okay? I'm talking about the game in Denver. We had them on the ropes, okay? Joseph Armendariz says, I asked earlier, I don't know if you're a Torn Cable supporter, but I don't think, Tom Cable supporter, I'm sorry. I just don't understand why Gruden likes him so much. I don't think his schemes fit what we need. Could be wrong, though. Tom Cable, I think, is a fantastic offensive line coach. And I think what Tom Cable brings is the ability to design schemes that call for a flexible, and you have to really draft for, when I say athletically flexible players. They're not smash mouth so much as they are. There's a lot of reach blocking. If you take a look, there are pulls, not so many traps as you'd like. But my point is, his offensive lines are big and yet active. Okay, They're big and yet active, all right? So, big and yet active. Quite different from, let's say, the kind of smash mouth game that Steve Mariucci liked when he was with the Niners. And if you note, the Raiders don't use a lot of the classic play action fakes that the Bill Walsh / West Coast offense was known for, okay? But my point is, I have never had an issue with Tom Cable. At all. Okay? And I don't know, people say they don't like Tom Cable, but then they don't articulate what it is they don't like. In other words, in terms of scheme. I have a feeling that there's some people who are thinking about Tom Cable politically. Like, you know, in the past he had this fight with his assistant coach and all this. Look, everybody makes mistakes, okay? I don't know what that was really about. It was unfortunate that it happened. It did not speak well to Tom's character. Tom knows that. Tom's an adult. He knows that. He's been given a second chance, and let's wish him well, you know? Forget all that. We've all made mistakes in life. How would you like it if somebody went back through your life, and we can find out about your stuff, don't think you can't hide, and just start putting it out, every little thing that you thought wasn't a transgression, and then making it look like it was? Doesn't that suck? Of course it does. So, you know, let's give the man a chance to do his job, all right? And I think by and large, he's done a great job. My issue is with the thinking, or I would argue lack thereof, that impacts this offense at halftime, and it doesn't go in and make the proper adjustments, or it doesn't seem like it makes any adjustments at all. And then during the game, I want to see passing options, pass pattern options. I want to see receivers that have their eyes open and are able to make route adjustments on the fly. Of course, you practice those, all right? That's what I want to see, okay? That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see from this Raider offense this time. No huddle, route adjustments, shifting before the snap. It's a pretty state-of-the-art system if you think about it. Ooh. The holy grail of offense. The holy grail. All right, folks, it's 1:30, and I am going to been on for, well, I'll stay on for another 13 minutes because I've been on for 47 minutes. I'll stay on for an hour, all right? This is a good simpatico. I like this. A good mix of people here. Got it, Joseph. All right. I'll see you, Joseph. All right. Sean Watson says, I just wanted the Raiders to be great again. I think they will be great because the team is hungry. Gotcha. I want the organization to have a defense that is more flexible, that is more aggressive, that is more willing to play bump and run coverage. Kenny G says, shout out to Tom Cable. He was one of the few since the Super Bowl year to go 8-8. I give Tom Cable a shout out for being a technician. You know, Tom Cable, let's not forget Mike Tice, all right? I thought Mike Tice did a great job, too, when he was offensive line coach. And, you know, Mike Tice is one of the coaching legends in the NFL, you know? So the Raiders have had some great coaches come through, great position coaches come through who were formerly head coaches, right? And, you know, but it all starts with the head coach. And my issue is you've had some great minds come through there, but they haven't translated into state-of-the-art offense. And so you always have to look at the head guy when that's the case. Jordan Yancey, how you doing? Jordan says, if we can get Lynch back, we can ground and pound. Well, here's the thing. I don't think that the Raiders need to ground and pound, all right? In fact, I believe the Raiders need to to throw. They need to pass to set up the run. The old Walsh style. You throw this menagerie of formations at the defense, an array of passing approaches with the objective of scoring 20 to 30 points first half and keeping the defense to 0. And then coming in with your running game in the second half and just muscling down the clock. That's what I believe in. That's the kind of offense that I like to see. That's the kind of outcome in terms of the design of your game plan that I believe that an NFL organization that wants to win should work to achieve. Besides, it's fun to watch. You know, it really is. And you know what? On that note, watch out for the Arizona Cardinals. I said it the other night. I'll say it again. I'm gonna make this prediction. I think I'm gonna put a video out on this. My prediction: the Arizona Cardinals are gonna lead the league in offense, in points. Okay, that's my prediction. That's my prediction. They're going to lead the league in offense and points. All right, I'm just laying it out there right now. You heard it here, okay? I'm happy to be wrong. Hey, yeah, you flip a coin, you bet, whatever. You take it to Vegas, you win some money, you don't. Fine. There it is, okay? That's what I'm willing to put out there. I'm not betting you. I'm just saying that's my prediction. Why? Because here's why. Air raid, 4 wide receivers, 5 wide receivers. Look at the Texas Tech videos on YouTube, all right, from last year and the year before, the years that Kingsbury was the coach. Look at Kingsbury at Texas A&M under Kevin Sumlin, who he says has mentored him, okay? All of those offenses have one thing in common, they're air raids. I know Kyle Murray said in his interview, which is on Zinni62 at YouTube here, he doesn't like the term air raid. But, hey, that's what it is. It is an air raid. Jordan Yancey says, what's your opinion of, Jordan Yancey, they've drafted 3 receivers. You should take a look at what they've done. And not only that, do you realize the Redskins not only drafted Haskins, but also the receiver from Ohio State? That's a little aside, but my point is, take a good look at what the Arizona Cardinals are doing on offense, all right? Now, Jordan Yancey, John Carr asked me about Mike Glennon. Mike Glennon is a sitting duck quarterback. He's the kind of guy that you bring in as a backup who is, I regard as a good passer, but not one that has escapability. So you better have you obviously have great confidence in your offensive line if you have Mike Glennon. All right? Either that or you have Mike Glennon in and you have movement plays. If you don't have movement plays with Mike Glennon, you are subjecting Mike Glennon to harm if you plan to throw deep. I'm just saying. Carr has more movement in the pocket than Glennon. I'm concerned about that. And I don't know what John is thinking because as I tried to get this out of him at the NFL annual meeting, didn't quite get there. Point that I'm making is, hey, coach, last year you had more mobile quarterbacks. Remember he brought in Josh Johnson and, and then he made this threat that he was going to have Derek Carr run. None of that came to pass. It was all hooey, okay? None of it came to pass. Now, this time, it's like, I'm going to get Kyler Murray, and I'm going to do this. He didn't get any of that. What did he give us? He gave us a couple of city ducks at quarterback. That's what he gave us. He gave us one city duck at quarterback, Glennon. Carr is mobile, but he doesn't let Derek Carr move, all right? Derek can move. He moved. We had him moving last year when he thought about it, John. But that'll be standard part of his offensive design, and it's not. Kenny G says Arizona's in a very tough division. Jordan Yancey says I have to take a look at it. You gotta. I know they're in a tough division, but you know what? They're gonna tire teams out with that thing. Either what'll happen with Arizona is either they'll score a lot of points. This is what'll happen. They will. Let me put it this way: they will definitely rack up a lot of yards. All right, and score a lot of points and win a lot of games, or rack up a lot of yards but not score a lot of points and not win a lot of games, or rack up a lot of yards, score some points but not win a lot of games. For this reason, you're saying, why am I going through those three different distinctions? Because when you play no huddle like they're going to play, what happens is that it becomes feast or famine. You have 3 downs to get, and if it's 3 and out a lot faster when you're going no huddle. And if you're marrying yourself to no huddle and you're not moving the ball on the opposing defense, guess what? They get the ball back faster. So what happens? They get more turns at bat. So by your design of no huddle, all right, if your game plan is not effective in moving the ball against the defense, you are actually putting your own defense in harm's way just by structure. That's the danger. The smart teams like the Eagles, they dial in. I was talking to Frank Reich about this last year at the Combine. They dial in. Frank Reich's the coach of the Colts now, right? They dial in the no huddle, Turn it all the way up, which means use it, or use it, turn it down, or use it when you have to, right? That's cool. But see, Arizona's not going to do that, I don't think. That's not what they're... If what I have heard Kingsbury say, both personally and then on video and seen, remains, they are not going to do that. The Cardinals are going to be full-on no huddle. Full-on no huddle, all right? And John Acosta says Landry Jones is probably a sitting duck also. Landry's got some wheels. It'll be interesting to see what John does with him, because he's an active guy who's accurate. I'm going to make another prediction. Landry Jones could wind up spelling Derek Carr if Carr gets injured. Keep that in mind, okay? Don't be surprised if that happens. I'm not saying it's a certainty, all right? Because I'm not sold on either Jones or Glennon, and I felt the Raiders needed to draft a quarterback. They needed to bring in Tyree Jackson or an Amir Hall, okay? I thought they were going to get Drew Lock, right? None of that happened. Now the Broncos have a Lock. Watch out. So, and a new coach, okay? So, yeah. So we've got that. We've got Yancey say, I'm going to say the Raiders will have a #1 offense in the league. Woo! Okay. I'm not going to go there with you, because I know Arizona is going to be at the top. Arizona, Tampa with Bruce Arians, Pittsburgh. The Raiders will be near the top. They'll be top 10. I'll give you a top 10, okay? But #1, I can't see the Cardinals. I cannot see the Arizona Cardinals not holding the top spot in terms of total offense, in terms of passing offense. I can't see that. I just cannot. I can't fathom that. John Acosta says, sign Kaepernick. I agree. It's a good reason. That's a good reason to. It's a good. I think that's a good place to sign off. All right. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right, folks. This has been a lot of fun, and I will see you on Sunday. Remember, the Warriors game is Saturday, so I may do a live stream after the Warriors game. Fair warning, okay? Fair warning. I want to thank everybody, particularly I really want to thank Raider Gans and Kenny G for their investments. I'm going to put you guys into that. I got to add Patrick as well into the new upgrade for the update rather for the investment layouts. All right, but thank you all so very much. This has been a lot of fun. See you Sunday. Now, actually, Sunday I'm going to have a surprise guest. Hopefully that holds who's regularly been at NFL events, has a lot to say, and it's quite different from other guests I've had before. Ooh. All right, I'll see you all later. Good night.